Hello everybody, welcome back to Katie's channel. So today we have a bit of a serious video that we must make. I believe it's an important one.
Muy importante.
Kate, serious today. I'll let Kate explain what this video will be about.
So we have a list of stuff
We do have like a bit of a
that I
script.
made
Yeah.
a month ago because this dingus wouldn't get his butt up and make this video with me.
Sorry.
I've had this thing
I didn't know
for
you.
months.
You don't need to call me out like that.
You are not Kobe Bryant. Anyway,
So today we're going to talk about Kate's eye disease. If you couldn't tell already. It's a very serious disease called retinitis pigmentosa. And I guess what it is, as Kate has a definition according to the National Eye Institute, it is a group of rare genetic disorders that involve a breakdown and loss of cells in the retina, which is the light-sensitive tissue that lines the back of the eye. Common symptoms include difficulty seeing at night and a loss of peripheral vision. And it's an inherited disorder. It comes from... It basically it's like a genetic. It comes from your family line. And I don't think it's my place to talk about Kate's family line. But basically, to sum it up, she's had people in her family that also have this disease. And now she has this disease. Kate is one of the youngest people on record to have retinitis pigmentosa. For some people, they don't get it until like later in their lives, or like they don't feel the effects of it until later in their lives. But with Kate, she kind of was born with it and always had difficulty seeing, always had difficulty with depth perception. But she always had difficulty with depth perception, always had difficulty with peripheral vision, seeing at night, going out in open spaces with large crowds, stuff like that. And I'll let her explain it in detail because she can explain it better than I probably ever could. People understand what a visual impairment is. I don't think you need to say
a lot of people don't. I've came across a lot of people that are just like, you don't need to use a cane. You're not totally blind.
But just because somebody isn't totally blind doesn't mean that, like, their lives are significantly harder to live because of, you know, like if your eyesight's affected, it does significantly affect your life. Like, you cannot, like, do things that most, what she calls sighted people can do, like drive, like walk down a sidewalk that has cracks or bumps in it, like cross the street. Like, there's so many things that you have problems doing because of this disability. So basically there's a lot of life is just kind of harder when you have Kate's disability. At nighttime, it's like she is pretty much almost completely blind. Like, completely blind. Like, you can't see anything.
Movies.
Anytime we go to the movies, because it's dark, she has to, like, basically kind of have a death grip on my arm, and I have to guide her to her seat and tell her where, like, steps are and stuff like that.
Am I still in frame?
Anytime we're out in public, anything that's kind of, like, below a certain point, like, she can't see down. So, like, if you're let's say you're, like, walking down the street and there's, like, a fire hydrant or like a box on the floor or something like that, and, like, normal people can just kind of, like, see it and, like, oh, like, just step over it, walk around it, whatever. Kate can't see it, so she'll, like, be walking and just like trip over it. Like she has a habit of tripping over stuff a lot more often than somebody who doesn't have her disorder would do.
Also having cats.
Also, yeah, having cats, because she cannot see the cats by just like looking straight ahead. Being in public, like around like crowded people, like you'll just she's more likely to do that thing where like you kind of like turn and not see somebody and like bump into them. I've noticed you do that a lot in public.
Well, this is what I want. I want stuff from your perspective.
And people aren't going to automatically assume that she has that, so some people get angry with her when that happens and stuff, but it's like, she just can't see them.
I've actually had an older woman... Hang on, there's a car.
This town is fun.
I've actually had an older woman in Walmart get mad at me for accidentally running into her cart because I couldn't see it. Like, I didn't, and there's people that just walk right out in front of me, and I have to stop really quick, and I almost run into them.
Yeah, well, going to Walmart's pretty tough.
Going anywhere is tough.
Going to Walmart gives you really bad anxiety. I know.
I hate Walmart.
Yeah, just being in there for like, or any grocery store, but Walmart's the closest one to us. But being in there for a good amount of time, kind of like she starts to like freak out. It's like, I can't see, I don't know what's going on, I can't see what's around me. You know, there's so many people here. And I kind of get anxiety at Walmart when there's like a lot of people there and stuff like that, but like, it's worse because like you could bump into somebody at any time. And you don't really have any like control over like, you know, like it's harder to see them, it's harder to kind of react and stop and stuff like that because peripheral vision just isn't there.
Or depth perception.
So briefly she worked at the same job as me. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what company we both worked for.
Well, I don't work there anymore, so.
Yeah,
You don't work there anymore either.
Neither one of us worked there anymore. It was Pizza Hut. I'll just say it. It was Pizza Hut. And pretty much when she worked there, she was doing like prep and stuff. Like she would prep up dough and stuff like that. And she would keep, because she can't tell how far away the pan is from her face, she would always hit herself in the head with a pan when she was moving stuff.
In the walk-in, there's a bunch of shelves and stuff, and like I had to push a cart into the walk-in, and it wasn't really well lit, so I'd always end up not seeing how close I was to the rack and and running into it.
Yeah. And yeah.
And whapping my head off of it.
Yeah, and she worked another job as a dishwasher, which that was incredibly difficult as well.
I used to burn myself on the stove all the time when I had to go put the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any like normal job that like any like normal dead end job that people do just to like pay rent, whatever, she can't do it. Because, you know, counting money is difficult because just at like you have to look really closely in order to like be able to tell the difference between like fives and ones and whatnot.
And also with that, like coins and stuff, I've learned something.
What?
I was actually being taught how to like figure out the difference between them by sound.
Yeah.
So like if you drop one, like it sounds different. Nobody would know that other than me because I've learned it, but
like it would be a longer process for her to count money if she ended up working at a bank or at a cash register or something where she had to count money. It would take longer, and I guarantee most, if not all, companies or businesses or whatever would not have the patience for something like that. She can't work at like a warehouse or any job where she needs to move things, because if there are boxes on the floor, like I was saying, she could trip and fall over them, and that could be like a, like a liability thing, like, workers'
I
comp,
could
stuff like
majorly
that.
hurt myself.
She can majorly hurt herself. And then the other
or
thing is,
hurt somebody else
yeah,
accidentally.
and also she can't drive. So like a lot of places, it's such like a thing that people take for granted, the ability to drive to your job. She can't do that. Like, she can't, because she can't drive. So she would have to get a ride from somebody, and odds are, unless she made friends like immediately or found somebody that lived near here, which we don't really know anybody in this town, she can't get to work. So literally she had to file for disability, which you could not get for years and years and years. Like, the government denied you getting disability until like just like what like last year, the year before that, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way she's been able to make money. So if it ever seems like on Twitter or on here or whatever that she seems like she's maybe begging a bit too hard to try to work with people, that's because that's the only way that she'll be able to make any money, is through doing makeup or doing some kind of work from home job. Because even like if you sit at a desk for too long, you've told me, like, and the reason why we have like descriptions of like what retinitis pigmentosa is on the thing, and she wanted me to read it because reading, especially on like a black text on a white background like Microsoft Word is, it can give her headaches, give her migraines after a while, and it's just...
And you've seen how bad my headaches get.
And her headaches get bad, dude.
I end up vomiting.
Yeah.
Because of how bad it is, and I'm in bed all day.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything.
Yeah, like, literally, if she has a really bad headache the next day, she spends the entire day in bed. Because she just can't move. Because doing anything makes it worse. And usually, anytime we go somewhere, like... Alright, for those of you who don't know, there was a music festival called Warped Tour. And I took Katie to that one year. And near the end of the day, because it's like an all day, like 10 a.m. to like 8 p.m., something like that. Towards like around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, like around towards the end of the day, Kate literally was just sitting on the ground saying, "Dylan, I can't walk anymore. My head hurts really bad." And I thought it was... I didn't know it was because of her eyes. I thought she was just dehydrated or sleep deprived or something like that. But no, it's because of her eyes. It's because of constantly having to look down and like to the sides and stuff like that. So when we went to Disney...
Did I bring my cane?
Yeah, but you only brought it to walk back to the car at night. That's the only time you used it. Like, you didn't use it at all during the day.
I should have.
You should have, but like, that's not something that I don't think anyone would want to do. Like, would want to do if they didn't have to, is walk around with a cane. And I guess I should explain this for people who don't understand. She has like this cane with like a ball on the end of it that rolls, and it like can tell her without her having to like physically look down where there are like things on the ground or things that she needs to avoid. Basically, it's because she doesn't have peripheral vision. She can use this cane and it will like track the ground for her, and it'll stop her from having to look down all the time. But when we went to Warped Tour, she didn't have that with her like during the day, so she was looking down a lot to be able to make sure she wasn't like tripping over anything or anything like that. And by the end of the day, she had like a really horrible headache. And then when we went to Disney, I don't know if you used it at first.
I didn't want to because, okay, the whole cane situation I'm always afraid to use it.
Mhm.
And I'm always afraid of what people are gonna think of me, and people are gonna like make fun of me for it. Which I know there are people that do, and I'm just like, nobody is perfect. Everybody has some sort of thing that's wrong.
Yeah.
But that's one of the main reasons why I don't like to use it. And I was actually told by my therapist that I need to start using it all the time. And I'm still iffy on it because I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Just because I guess that's not, you don't want to have to like need that just to function.
I don't want to
in public.
look different.
You don't want, is it like a look thing, or is it like you don't want to have to like need something like that? Because I feel like if I was in your position, I'd be
that
like,
too.
yeah, like I would just like, man, I don't want to have to go everywhere with a cane. Like, because I just don't want to do that. And I think you're probably in a similar, like, but, anyways, when we went to Disney and we went to Universal, we made her carry her cane with her and use it, and it helped, right?
Mm-hmm.
It helped. But even when she had it out, she was still just kind of like on instinct, like looking down at the ground. And by the end of us at Disney, she had a really bad headache and got really moody and stuff like that. And it's not fun. I would not wish this disease on anybody, because it horribly impacts your life, and it just...
Also, going back to the specific part of retinitis pigmentosa, it's degenerative.
Yeah.
Which means your vision's not gonna get any better unless there's a magical treatment.
There's like some very preliminary experimental government programs going on that could treat it, but also could blind you. They have some form of gene therapy, which is very like, again, it's in its early stages and it hasn't been proven yet and all that stuff. There's also like some kind of acupuncture Kate could do, but in order to do it, we'd have to go to Canada, which is expensive, and I'd have to go with her and take off like 2 weeks of work and spend a whole lot of money for something that, again, there's a risk that she could come back completely blind because it got botched. Marijuana is another thing. Medical marijuana, supposedly, it's not as effective as any of those other ones, but it does help, supposedly. But we live in a very conservative area with a hospital that doesn't give out cards. Because even though medical marijuana is legal in the state of Pennsylvania, the hospital that kind of has like a borderline monopoly on this entire part of the state will not issue like medical marijuana cards for people that need them. So we would have to go to like Philadelphia or something like that in order to get the treatment that she needs. And again, we don't even know for sure if that's even going to help or not, but we think it might. It's just like, it's hard, you know. It's hard. There's so many times where Kate is like, oh, I need to get this from like Walmart, I want to go to Ulta today, I need to, like, she needs to do something, but she needs to drive there in order to do it, and she can't drive, so she can't just like I'm at work, my roommate's at work, she can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go, you know.
Camera died.
Yeah, the camera died. I basically lost my entire train of thought what I was talking about. But yeah, there isn't really any treatments for this particular disease, and it's only time is our enemy in this case, because there's really nothing we can do about it. There's no known treatments for it, and the ones that do exist are kind of sketchy, and no one knows if they work, and they're expensive, and we have to travel to go get them done, and it's just a mess. That's basically all I really have to say for now. I'm gonna toss it over to Kate.
If you have anything to add.
I'll add stuff if I feel like I need to, but you've heard enough of my yapping. So,
You're yapping.
Yeah,
You're yapping.
This is your video, so I'll let you take over here.
Okay. Before you got into your stuff, I was gonna explain like what is a visual impairment and stuff, and I have that written down. And it's having reduced vision so severe as to constitute a handicap. And that's according to dictionary.com. I looked that up because I wanted an exact blah!
I'm completely convinced they have like a drag racing league outside or something. It is so loud.
Oh my
out
god. This is why it's hard for me to film. I just destroyed the microphone. You basically okay. I could do how I see.
Mm-hmm.
What you actually explain that though, but I'll explain it in my own perspective.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm having eye difficulties. It's normal for me, but oh my Jesus.
I think it might be makeup induced.
Yeah, probably. That's why I don't really wear makeup a lot, but I'll do like makeup looks and stuff. Because if I wear it, sometimes it irritates my eyes. And it's a pain in the butt.
I feel like your eyes are also very easily irritated.
They are. Also, my eyes are very irritated by light. Because when you have the visual impairment that I have, your eyes are very sensitive to light. That's another reason I get headaches really bad. It's because of the light. I just want to scream. What are you doing?
Giving you a massage.
Okay, so not working and not driving and not being able to go anywhere, I have depression fits over them sometimes. Because I have to basically depend on everybody else if I have to go somewhere, and I don't like doing that. Especially him, because I know he works. And I've told you that.
And a lot of other people will ask for gas money.
Which I understand. But I don't have the money. And I can't make money if I can't work. And yes, I'm on disability, but you don't really make... I'm gonna cry. What was he doing?
It's not our business.
So anyway, I don't know why that guy went, but this is the town we live in. You hear it. I've heard so many weird things happen outside. And I don't live in a city.
Yeah, we don't live in a city. We should make that.
We live in a tiny little town.
Yeah, we live in a small town.
And
but there's trucks.
I've literally seen police cars at the gas station at 11 o'clock at night. And This world is terrible. There are many times where, like, Dylan isn't home and, like, if I'm making food, cooking is kind of difficult. And with our apartment, the microwave is right above the stove. So if I leave the microwave door open and I'm cooking something on the stove, I will whack my head off of it. 'Cause I won't remember I left it open, and like Dylan was saying with Disney and Universal, how there's like fire hydrants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into the fire hydrant when I was there, and I had my can out. Don't know why, but big black and blue mark for weeks.
Yeah.
Being visually impaired really sucks, but you gotta make do with what you have. Makeup, in terms of doing makeup and stuff, I know a lot of visually impaired people don't wear it, or they're too afraid to try. And I understand that, because it's even hard for me, and I have some sight. Like, I have basically all my central vision. But
not a lot of anything else.
Yeah. And I still think that's why I can actually do makeup, is because I have my central vision still. And it's still hard, like I said, because my eyes are also, like, one's smaller than the other. I don't know if anybody's realized that. I don't know if you've even realized that. Yeah. One eye is smaller than the other. That's also why I can't wear contacts. I've tried that. My mom had to put them in for me. Did not work out well.
Also, your eyes are easily irritated, which I'm assuming contacts probably.
If I do more than 3 looks a day, my eyes will literally look like I'm crying. And they'll be all red and puffy, because they get really badly irritated. I don't know.
I think we've said pretty much everything we need.
I'm lucky I can even do makeup.
Yeah.
A lot of things are very hard for me to do, like Dylan said. Dylan pretty much covered everything. I do want to say this. Meanwhile, you're just like, Kate. I see a lot of people, and I'm not gonna mention names, but there's a lot of people that think I'm just lazy and I don't want to get a job. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I want to be able to work. I want to be like a normal person. I don't want to have to sit here and do nothing all day. It makes me more depressed than anything usually. And like, I'm usually up here doing YouTube stuff and makeup stuff, or playing a game, which if I'm on like my Switch or something for too long, or playing PlayStation for too long, or like watching TV for too long, I get really bad headaches from any screens or anything. Which is why like I have to limit how much I'm editing and stuff like that. And I also have like a certain kind of glasses that kind of like, what's the word for it?
Ones.
Yeah, the blue light ones. And they're like magnified a little bit, like, so they're like computer glasses or gaming glasses or something. So if I wanted to do that, it would help me not get a headache. But then, like, if I get up to go to the bathroom or something and I still have them on, they're gonna make me get a headache because they're like so zoomed in. I don't know how to explain it. But they're like so zoomed in, and I don't know.
It'll just be discombobulating.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add for the good of the order?
I was gonna continue on my rant. There are people that think I'm lazy. There are people that say I should just get a job. And
It's not that simple.
what he said. It's not that simple. There's so many jobs that everybody else does that I can't, and I can't get to one because I can't drive. And makeup I found I can do, like, on other people too, because I have my central vision. So if I do anything, it's either it has to be, they have to come to me and I can do like a person's makeup for weddings and prom and whatever. But that, or something online where I can do stuff with beauty stuff where I don't have to be on the computer all the time. Like, I can be on the computer for a little while. I did do a fellow makeup artist's Instagram thing for her because she had a features page, and I used to be the admin of that. I used to do that for her. That wasn't paid though. I can do stuff like that. I like making videos and reviewing stuff. So, if you get anything from this video, don't make fun of people with disabilities. Help them out. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Be patient.
Be patient. If you are visually impaired, you're not alone. I've always felt alone with this before, so... And I've met people all over. I have a few friends who are actually visually impaired. They can't drive either. I think that's it.
It's all fucked up.
Having a visual impairment is not the easiest thing ever. There's a lot of things you have to adapt to. I feel really terrible when I fall over my cats. But they know enough now where they know to move when I'm coming.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get stepped on.
I hope this was eye-opening. Nope, God.
Can I leave that in?
I hope this was very informative today. Jesus. Well, have a good day, everybody.
If there's any other questions, comments, or concerns,
please feel free to tweet Katelynn. If you're not following her on Twitter,
follow me on Twitter,
you're making
follow
a
me
mistake.
on Instagram. I post like every day.
Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on MySpace.
I don't have a MySpace.
Follow her on LiveJournal.
What the hell is LiveJournal?
But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask Katie. And I hope this was very informative. I hope now people can understand that, you know, her doing this isn't as easy as a lot of other people in this community to be able to do what she does. It's very hard. It's very difficult.
And I actually do know of other visually impaired makeup artists, and
Yeah.
let me say, as soon as this card passes, let me say I'm incredibly proud of you and keep on doing what you're doing, because we will, as visually impaired people, slay this beauty community. Yes, I said it. What now?
Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. And we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
That is not how. No. Well, that's Dylan's goodbye.
Say goodbye to the nice people, Katie.
Subscribe. Leave a like.
You don't need to
leave
tell
a
people
comment.
to subscribe.
If you like me, please subscribe.
If anybody's been on YouTube for any amount of time, you know what the subscribe button is. It's like the biggest button on the whole page.
I hope you guys like my new intro and outro. Yeah. It's spooky season.
Spooky.
It's my favorite. Spooky season is the best.
Alright.
If you couldn't tell, you've seen the bed in the background, you know it's a nightmare.
Likes Halloween a lot.
Yes.
Alright, well, have a great day, everybody.
Or night.
Or
afternoon.
Yeah, whenever you're watching this. And we will see you all.
Or wherever you are.
In the